everyone, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're going to be doing two-step equations. Hopefully you have done some one-step equations before. Perhaps you watched my video on one-step equations and you're ready to take the next step to do two-step equations. So one-step equations involve moving one number away, moving it to the other side to solve the equation. So you can probably guess that two-step equations means that you need to perform two operations that will leave the pronumeral on one side of the equation by itself. Okay, so here is an example of a two-step equation. 4a minus 3 is equal to 9. So there are two numbers, the 4 and the 3, that need to be moved away in order for the a to be by itself so we can get the solution. So which one do you move first? Well, let's read through the question again. 4a minus 3. Okay, so the a is with the 4, so 4 times a, and then we minus 3. So we need to do that in the reverse order. The 3 was the last thing to be subtracted on, so I need to be getting rid of the 3 first. So the opposite of subtracting 3 is to add 3 to both sides. Got to keep it balanced. Okay, that will cancel those 3's away, giving me 4a is equal to 9 plus 3 is 12. Okay, that's one step. Now I still need to get rid of the 4. That's 4 times by the a. So I need to divide by 4 to cancel it off. A is now by itself, and 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. Let's try that again. 8 plus 2b is equal to 24. Let's start with the b. b has been multiplied by 2, and then I have added an 8. So the 8 was the last thing to be added on, so I need to move the 8 first. It's a positive 8, so to move it I need to subtract the 8. So 2b is what's left on that side. 24 minus 8 is 16. Now 2b, I need to get rid of the 2. 2 times by b, so I need to do the opposite, which is divide by 2 to cancel that away. b is now finally by itself, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So that's my solution. Sometimes when you do these, it's a good idea to put your answer in a box, just because it's easier to see. All right, question 3. 15 equals 6 minus 3c. All right, now this time we have the pronumeral on the right-hand side of the equation. That hasn't happened before. So these are the two numbers on this side this time, the 6 and the minus 3, that we have to move across to the other side of the equation. So c is multiplied by the minus 3, and then the 6 is been 6 minus the 3c. All right, so the 6 is the last thing to happen, so it's the first thing that needs to go. Now, you hopefully know that when you're looking at algebra, the minus sign belongs, that minus sign belongs with the 3. So you always take this number, it's always the sign that goes in front of it. That 3 and that minus belong together. The 6 is actually positive. To move it, I need to subtract it. So I need to subtract the 6 from both sides. 15 minus 6 is equal to 9 is equal to, and on this side I have the minus still 3c. Okay, so now I need to work out what to do next. My second step, minus 3 times c. So I need to divide that by a minus 3 and divide this side as well by minus 3. Cancel those away. 9 divided by minus 3 is minus 3 is equal to c. Now, if you don't like having your c on the right hand side, you can always rewrite that to say C is equal to -3. Just switch the sides around. That looks a bit more like what we're used to seeing. All right, question 4. D minus 5 over 8 is equal to 4. D, then I want to take away 5 and divide the whole thing by 8. So the 8 has to be the first thing to go. Instead of the opposite of dividing by 8 is to times by 8. Cancel those away. I have D minus 5 left is equal to 4 times 8 is 32. Now I have D minus 5, so the opposite is to add 5. Cancel those away. D is equal to, add those together, 37. And there's my answer. Alright, this fraction is different to this one. In this one I had to subtract the 5 first before dividing by 8. But in this question I have the F, it's divided by the 4 first, and then we're adding on the 5. So in this question I need to move the 5 first. To move it, I do the opposite, subtract the 5, cancel that away. I still have F over 4, and 9 minus 5 is equal to 4. Next, the opposite of dividing by 4 is to times by 4. Cancel them off. F is equal to 4 times 4, which is 16. Finished. Okay, question 6. 3g over 5 is equal to 9. G is multiplied by 3 and then I divide everything by 5. So the 5 has to go first. So opposite of divide is to times by 5. Cancel those off. 3g is equal to 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, then 3 times g, so the opposite is to divide by 3. Cancel off the 3's. G is equal to 45 divided by 3 is 15. If you're having trouble with multiplying or dividing numbers, it's a good idea to use your calculator. Just while you're focusing on learning how to do the equations, you don't want to have to stress too much about whether or not you know your times tables well enough. So just have your calculator handy is always a good idea. Alright, question 7. 5 minus h over 4 is equal to 3. So h, I have 5 minus the h, so that happens first, and then I divide by 4. So the opposite is to times by 4. So I have 5 minus h is equal to 3 times 4, which is 12. Okay, now the minus actually belongs with the h. That's actually a positive 5. To move the 5, I need to subtract it. So I have a minus h is equal to 12 minus 5, which is 7. Alright, I actually still don't have h by itself. I actually need to do a third step here to get h by itself. I need to get rid of this minus here. Now, a minus in front of a h, that's like a minus 1. You could squeeze a little minus 1 in there. So to get rid of that, I actually need to divide by a negative 1. And that will, in effect, just move the minus sign to the other side. It will become a minus 7. So that was a bit tricky, that question. It actually turned out to be 3 steps in order to get the h by itself. Okay, so now it's time to see if you can have a try at the 2-step equations that we've just been learning about. So here's a few practice questions. Pause the video, have a try, and then we'll go through the answers together. So question 1. 4j minus 1 is equal to 19. 2 numbers to move away. J is multiplied by 4 and then we subtract the 1. So the 1 has to move first. Opposite of subtracting 1, I need to add 1. That will give me 4j is equal to 19 plus 1, which is 20. The second step, I need to move the 4. So the 4 is times with the j, so the opposite is to divide by 4. J is now by itself, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. Did you get that? Alright, let's try. Let's see how you went with question 2. 15 minus 2k is equal to 7. Okay, k is multiplied by 2, and then we need to do 15 minus all of that. Okay, so the 15 is the last thing, so it needs to go first. The 15 is positive because the minus belongs with the 2, so this 15 is actually positive. There's no minus sign in front of it. So the opposite, to get rid of the 15, I need to subtract the 15. That will give me a minus 2k, and 7 minus 15, we actually go down into the negative numbers here, is negative 8. Now, negative 2 times k, that's timesed in here, so I need to divide by negative 2. Get rid of those, k is now by itself. Minus 8 divided by minus 2, minuses will cancel out. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Nice simple answer to a kind of messy question. Question 3. 5 plus m over 3 is equal to 11. M over 3, m divided by 3, and then we got 5 plus that. So the 5 has to go first. So it's a positive 5, subtract the 5 off both sides. M over 3 is still there. 11 minus 5 is 6. Now to move the 3. That's divided there, so the opposite is to times by 3. M is now by itself. 6 times 3 is 18. Question 4. N plus 4 over 3 is equal to 6. N, I add the 4 and then divide everything by 3. So the 3 has to move first. The opposite of divide is to times by 3. So I have n plus 4 left. 6 times 3 is 18. Now the opposite of adding 4 is to subtract 4. N is by itself. And 18 minus 4 is 14. Very last one, question 5. 29 equals 5 minus 3p. So my pronumeral, my letter, is over here on the right hand side, so I'm actually working from here, trying to move things away. So p is multiplied by the negative 3, and then I want 5 minus that. So the 5 is the first thing to go because it was the last thing to come. So it's a positive 5, I need to subtract the 5. 29 minus 5 is 24. On this side, I still have a minus sign, so don't forget that, minus 3p. Now the minus 3 is multiplied with the p, so I have to divide by minus 3 to get rid of it. 24 divided by minus 3, 24 divided by 3 is 8, so it's a negative 8 equals p. Switch sides if you like, p is equal to negative 8. Okay, hopefully you're following along and are able to do some of those questions yourself. Keep practicing. It's always good to find as many of these as you can and practice as much as you can, and you'll get better and better all the time. We'll see you next time for some more equations. Bye for now.